But the news just coming across that the Greenwich Cardinals finally have their head football coach. It's reporting the news that has come out in the past just a couple of minutes, and that is the announcement that John Marinelli will take the Greenwich High School football coaching job, which we will see him in October. Marinelli
versus Marinelli.
Yeah, tell me about this Greenwich game now. Obviously, Greenwich is a great program, and there's a family tie there now with Johnny. And what's the approach this week? Is it the same as every week?
It's got to be the same as it always is. There's nothing, just because he's the coach there doesn't mean that we're going to change the way we prepare and the things that we're going to do. We try to look at them as they're looking at us as well, and try to find their weaknesses and match up our strengths against their weaknesses. So, I mean, for me personally, it's a little bit different, but I think, for my guys and the kids, it's all the same.
I know you pay attention to everything that's going on in the league, but have you paying a little more attention to Greenwich this year?
Absolutely. I've been to 2 of their games so far, not to scout, but just to be with my wife and kind of support. And it's frustrating though, because you can't help anymore. I mean, when he was here, at least you could give suggestions. It's tougher now for me.
Yeah. I mean, it's got to be the type of thing too here where Johnny's had a big influence on these kids because he worked with them for so long, and Michael Collins in particular. I think he has 23 touchdowns now in 4 games, which is incredible. And he just seems to be so proficient right now. How big an influence was Johnny on him?
Johnny, he has a big influence on this program. Well, one of the reasons we are where we are is because of Johnny's hard work. I mean, he lived in this war room, and he was always working on some aspect of it. And he'd always have kids down here, and Michael Collins and him were very close. I think he really took it very hard when Johnny left because they were so close. And one of the big reasons why he is the quarterback he is today was because of Johnny bringing him along when he was a freshman, sophomore, and junior.
Yeah. Tell me about Greenwich. Obviously, you guys have a connection over there with Johnny Marinelli being their coach, but Greenwich is a good program, well-known program, and they're deep. So tell me, what's the approach for them?
Yeah, I mean, they're a traditional powerhouse. I mean, they've had a couple of rough games. I think they just got away from what they were doing normally, but they're definitely not a game to overlook. We're just preparing like it's any other game. Obviously, with Johnny, it's a little different, but it'll be, I guess, a little weird being on the other sideline, but it should be a fun game.
What's Johnny meant to you as a coach? Because I know he's played a lot in your development.
Well, since freshman year, we had been working together. We were always in the film room together, and he was just a great mentor and leader for me. I mean, he's a great coach, and he's he's picking up Greenwich now. But Coach Crenny's also done a great job replacing him. So, is
this a little bittersweet at all going up against a guy like Johnny? Because you want to win the game, but it's Johnny.
I guess at the same time, and I guess like there's a revenge factor or something. That's what's been thrown around. But at the same time, he's a great friend, great coach. So I guess it is a little bittersweet.
How are the kids approaching this week? How is all the players approaching this week with just getting ready for Greenwich?
I think the mentality is we want to win, obviously, and no matter who's on the other sideline, we want to win the game and do our best to execute and make all the plays that we can. Just
tell me about the start you guys have had to this season. Everything seems to be just clicking greatly.
Yeah, I mean it's like no other start we've had like this, where I think we've played 4 games and our starters have played less than 2 actually. They've all been out by halftime in just about every game, with the exception of Ridgefield. So I mean, it's a great way to start. Now, I'm not so sure how good those opponents have been. So I think we'll find out this weekend.
Talk about this season so far. Just everything seems to be clicking for you guys, and you're coming right out of the box and doing well. What's working?
Yeah, I mean, it seems like we're really just executing all over the place, offensively, defensively, and then with our special teams. I mean, Peter Swindell's been better than last year. He's kicking field goals again, making them. I think his ankle sprain last year hurt him, and then offensive line has been great, helping me. I've only got sacked once, and even then it was my fault, but otherwise protection's been awesome. Really helped me to be able to get the ball out to our playmakers, and then they just put it in the end zone. And then defensively, I mean, I don't think we've given up a point in the first half, which is stupendous, but we still have a lot to improve on. and going forward. So the next couple of weeks are going to be hard.
You told me once before with coaches, you want to have guys who want to move on and do things at other programs and become head coaches and things. Johnny fit that bill?
Oh, without a doubt. Yeah, and he's going to be fine. I mean, as soon as he gets his feet on the ground, I think you have to give him a year to get to know the kids and to get his thoughts, philosophies, and theories into the entire program. I think he's going to be absolutely fine. He's the kind of guy that you want. I think the kids down there have responded well to him from what I've seen anyway. But I mean, he's going to be a great head coach in this league.
What's, as far as the team, Greenwich Cardinals, what's the approach this week? What do you know about them, and what are you looking for?
Well, I mean, knowing that how well Johnny knows the offense, we've kind of seen what they do on film. We've got their tendencies down, and we've tried to match up how to stop them. They have two quarterbacks, both of which have different dynamics or different skill sets. Smaller is a tall, classic pro-style quarterback. He can drop back and really throw it. Whereas I think it's Ferraro that he's more of a runner. He can throw the ball, but he's not quite as big. But he's kind of like Cassione. Whereas if he doesn't like what he sees, he'll take off and run, and he can hurt you with the run. They're pretty good up front. Their receivers are starting to come along now. It's going to take some time, but you can see that it's coming. Defensively, I mean, they're tough kids. They move around. They certainly get after the ball. So I mean, we will be tested. In all honesty, I really wasn't thinking about it until because it's one of those dates off in the future, and you just keep on working, and you just and then now it's here. And I came in on Sunday. We met early, offensively. We had our staff meeting. We met defensively, and it wasn't until I got in the car, started driving home, that it really hit me.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to beat them, but I also don't want to lose. So, and it's such, and I'm sure he doesn't feel the same way. Although, he was more excited about the 300th win, and he set that whole thing up with the video, and he did it all behind the scenes. So, I want to get this week over with.
Yeah.
Is really the bottom line.